Self-driving cars. Pretty cool. Who wouldn't want to spend their daily commute surfing social media, chatting with friends, or finishing the Netflix series they were watching at 4 a.m. the night before? It all sounds virtually utopian. But what if there is a dark side to self-driving cars? What if self-driving cars kill the jobs? All the jobs. If you haven't been living under a rock without a 4G or Wi-Fi connection specifically, you probably have already seen reports that self-driving technology might kill a lot of trucking jobs. There are about 4 million trucking jobs in the United States, or 2% of the entire workforce. Different pundits have considerably different estimates on how long it will take before the technology is ready. But when it happens, the job losses could start piling up rapidly. And it's not just truckers. Taxi and bus operators, and even the drivers who helped Uber build its treasure trove, will be affected. By the time you factor in these jobs, 3% of the workforce is at risk. But it won't just be drivers that are out of luck. The end of driving will likely cause a cascading effect, rendering various staples of 20th century life obsolete. Some contemplating on the topic reveals job losses on scales big and small. Let's begin. In 2015, $405 million were collected in traffic tickets in New Jersey alone. Losing this revenue will be a big hit to town and state governments. But more pointedly, will there even be jobs for traffic police when there aren't any drivers to ticket? Down the line, self-driving cars could lead to a precipitous drop in the number of people who own vehicles, as car use shifts to a subscriber-based or per-use model. In such an environment, car dealerships may vanish or become a niche industry, perhaps catering to high-income individuals who wish to own sexy and increasingly impractical sports cars. The end of car ownership would also effectively end the reign of parking lots and parking garages. Cars could be whisked away to a new destination immediately after dropping a customer off at their location. The inability to ticket cars parked past their time limit would be another lost source of income for police officers. Self-driving cars need maintenance, just like any other car, so at first blush, mechanics and repair shops would not seem to be at risk. But perhaps they will be. In a model where a few huge corporations own fleets that comprise the vast majority of cars on the road, vehicles are likely to automatically report to predetermined facilities whenever a problem is detected. The repair industry could go from being one of the most fragmented and decentralized industries in the United States to being almost entirely uniform and centrally owned. In such a system, one could also expect the maintenance facilities to be highly standardized and automated themselves, which would mean that they would be creating far fewer new jobs than they're displacing. Tire dealerships, car washes, detailing shops, and towing services could suffer much the same fate. Another potential casualty of centrally owned and possibly electric car fleets: gas stations. The corporations that own the car fleets will likely want to own the recharging stations too. But even if they don't, self-driving cars would certainly be the final nail in the coffin of the gas station attendant. And what about car insurance? Even if the decline of car ownership turns out to be a myth, if self-driving cars deliver on the safety and accident reduction improvements that developers promise, this industry could be substantially disrupted. And one forecaster thinks that the industry will shrink by 60% by 2040. We aren't done yet. The hotel industry in many areas could see a loss of jobs due to self-driving cars. Initially, this seems counterintuitive. If people are traveling more, wouldn't we need more hotels? But if the cars drive themselves and you are taking a long trip, why not sleep in the car? Especially if you could just bring up an app and request a sleeping or hotel car to come pick you up. It's easy to imagine destination spots thriving with the introduction of self-driving vehicles, but the places in between may not be so lucky. By the same token, mass-market short domestic flights may be made obsolete. Sure, cars will never compete with airplanes in terms of pure speed, but why go through the hassle of going to an airport, checking luggage, getting frisked at security, and then waiting for a flight in a busy terminal when you can relax or even sleep through a personal car ride that is only slightly longer? Some of the same problems could hurt the passenger rail industry and its thousands of jobs. Okay, so you get the point. There are an overwhelming number of jobs that self-driving cars either threaten outright or promise to throw into stormy waters. And we haven't even covered driver's ed teachers, DMV employees, bumper sticker designers, and the companies that make those little pine trees that smell nice. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, there have been concerns that workers made of iron or steel were going to steal the jobs from flesh and blood humans. But could self-driving cars be the turning point? We hope you enjoyed the video. Check in next time for our follow-up video with a slightly different argument. Self-driving cars will create all the jobs. In the meantime, like, subscribe, comment, and if you work in any of these industries, start working on your resume. See you then.